independent journalism looks like. What you know you can't explain. But you feel it. You felt it your entire life. That there's something wrong. You don't know what it is, but it's there. Like a splinter in your mind, driving you mad. Experience the awakening. Brilliant anonymous researchers. Patriots, join us in the Patriot Army. Trust the plan, pain coming. Boom, boom, boom. Let's go. RedStateTalkRadio.com, Brighteon.tv, Rumble.com/MG Show. The end won't be for everyone. That choice to know will be yours. Where we go one, we go all. Fight, 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 and fight we will. We fight every day right here on the MG Show.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness, Patriots. We've got Don Lemon arrested. We've got the MG Show has obtained live video, or excuse me, video of him in jail. Check it out, guys.
Don't you dare. That ass belongs to me.
Welcome to Friday.
It's Friday, yeah. Saturday, Sunday, what? So we got that live footage. It was P. Diddy, but it was Walz's guy. Don Lemon has been arrested. It happened early this morning, I believe about midnight in L.A., Shady. And wow, feels good, doesn't it?
Whenever God gives you lemons, you got to make lemonade, sir.
Yeah, you got to squeeze the lemons.
It's time. Like all these people running around here acting like that. You're not going to go on camera being bragging about how you're terrorizing people, and then like go out in public and scream that you're doing the journalism.
It's the journalism, sir. Shady. It's the journalism.
It wasn't the journalism that he was doing, sir. He doesn't work for the CNN anymore.
You know, and let's just show you this. This is Don Lemon proud of terrorizing children. Check this out, Shady.
Watch this guy here. Look, he's hugging his kid. And, you know, I've imagined it's uncomfortable and traumatic for the people here. But again, careful. It's very slippery right here. Yeah. It's uncomfortable and traumatic for the people here, but that's what really, careful, please. Really slippery. Not kidding. That's what protesting is about. And
no. So, that's what being in church is about, so you don't have to have asshats like you, dude. It's the FACE Act, guys. You know, he has his First Amendment right, but to break into a church and terrorize children, I just draw the line at that, man. That is ridiculous.
You do not have a right to do that. You have the right. We went over this. We went over this just last week. You have the right to peacefully assemble. You have the right to peaceably assemble. That is all you have the right to do. You don't have the right to interfere with other people's right to peacefully assemble. In other words, the people in the church, those were the people who were peacefully assembling. The people in the church are the people that the Constitution is protecting from the people that are trying to stop them from worshiping. I'm really not sure like how we're getting this all confused. Exactly. It doesn't make a lot of sense to me. It seems like whenever we were young, we understood the idea of what it was that people that wanted to lord over us were trying to do to us. That's why a bunch of us decided that we would jump in a bunch of boats and we would sail over to another land, and then we would start shooting these people in the face to get our freedom so that we could peacefully assemble in church. Yeah. I think that was the point.
And you know what? People don't realize what violence is, okay? Violence is not, hitting somebody or, harming them physically. That, everybody says that like boxing is violent. Well, boxing is not violent. It's two men that agree to apply force on each other and step into a ring, okay? Violence is when somebody takes away your rights, guys. That is the true definition of violence. So when Shady and myself were all deplatformed, that's our right of our First Amendment. That's violence, okay? Don Lemon going into a church where people are allowed to legally and lawfully First Amendment face act worship, that's violence. That is what violence really is.
Exactly right. And the people that were in the church are the actual people the Constitution protects. They are acting like the Constitution protects his right to do journalism in a violent manner. No, you're doing what you're actually doing is you're actually interfering with other people's rights. Your right to peacefully assemble does not say you have the right to go and make other people that are assembling uncomfortable because you don't like their assembly. It doesn't say anything like that, but look at the way they're all trying to twist it. It's a communist mindset. We've discussed this at length here, but that's exactly what it is. And it's FAFO season, bro.
It is. And we got breaking news. President Trump is in the White House, in the Oval, signing executive orders. It just happened, and I think it's already over, Shady. Let's go there now.
So I have some incredible people, and this is a very exciting thing that we're doing. And it was fast. They've wanted to do it. I understand they've been here hundreds of times over the years trying to do it. And they're going to give you a little bit of history. Roger Penske, everybody knows he's a legend in many different things, but certainly in racing. He's won the Indianapolis 500 20 times. On the 18th time, I said, he's been a friend of mine for a long time, but on the 18th time I said, I think I'm going to give him the Presidential Medal of Freedom because, how do you do that? Japan, Germany, Roger, right? Everybody, they want to win the Indy 500. They spend billions of dollars getting a car, and this guy wins it. Like every year. He won it so many times that he ended up buying the track. So now he owns a track, he owns the race. It's pretty good. Now he's won it, though. He won it 2 times since he got it. And it's a total of 20. And didn't you win the Daytona 500?
Yes.
How many times?
4 times.
That's all? That's terrible. I can't believe it. Anyway, if you win it once, it's like great. The guy's amazing. He's a genius. And a real genius at cars and racing. And they are going to put up something that's really amazing. It's really having to do with our great 250th birthday, where we're having so many wonderful things. UFC is coming, as you know, in front of the White House with a building literally a stadium. We're going to have over 100,000 people. And this is going to have a lot of people. I won't even say how many people because I think it can set a record for racing. It's going to be very, very important. We're celebrating greatness with American motor racing. That's going to be the name of the event. It's going to take place on August 21st through the 23rd. And it's going to be so exciting. And I love the racing. I don't have a lot of time to watch it, but I love the racing. And just before we start, I will say numbers came out this morning. They're phenomenal for the country. So we announced yesterday that for the first time in, I think, 28 years, America made more steel than Japan. Can you believe it? Japan's a big steel country.
Amazing.
America made more steel than Japan. The numbers are record-setting numbers. Every one of our numbers are doing. We've never had anything like it. We have over $18 trillion coming into our country. We're building thousands of plants and all sorts of businesses all over the United States. It's never been anything
Maybe
like
that heater's too hot.
$18 trillion investment. So we have over $18 trillion
Down the heat.
in the United States of America. The record was $3 trillion 10 years ago, not by us, by another country. And we're going to do 18, and I think the 18 is going to go higher. We're just looking at 11 months. The 12th month hasn't come in yet, but it's going to bring us over 18, maybe even hit 20. So you have 18 to 20 trillion dollars coming in, and we've never had anything like it. We have a record we just set, as you know. The S&P 500 just set a new record, 7,000. Nobody thought that was possible in this quick a time. They thought maybe at the end of 4 years or 5 years or 6 years. But we did it in the first year. And we had 48 stock market highs, Roger. So Roger's a big beneficiary because he has a lot of stock. But anybody that has stock, including people with 401ks. So the economy has never been like this. It was just announced that crime is at an all-time low. Best numbers on crime in the recorded history of our country, and the lowest numbers of murders in the history of our country that we have. Recorded history goes back 125 years. That's not bad. And a lot of that is because of the fact that we have a closed border. We've taken out thousands and thousands of criminals and murderers and drug dealers and everything else. And we've either brought them back to their country, or in some cases we have to put them in our jails because we don't want to have them come back. And so we don't want to just bring them back to their country and then they maybe come back. Despite our border, they're pretty sneaky, pretty smart. So we're doing things that nobody's ever seen before. The country is really in great shape. We have a large armada, flotilla, you can call it whatever you want, heading toward Iran right now. Even larger than what we had in Venezuela. It's still in front of Venezuela. The Venezuelan situation, the leadership is doing a very good job. We're very happy, and we're getting along very, very well. And we're inviting countries of the world very shortly. They're going to be starting to take the oil. We're going to be heading that with the country, and it's worked out really well. We're now sending actually a larger number of ships to Iran. And hopefully we'll make a deal. If we do make a deal, that's good. If we don't make a deal, we'll see what happens. But this is going to be exciting. So I'm going to ask, and he really is a legend. He's a great man. I've known him for a tremendously long time. I refuse to say we were both young. Now we're both a little older. We refuse to say old, but we're a little older. But Roger Penske is the chairman, as you know, of Penske Corporation. He's got everything you can imagine. Mostly, I think, to do with automotive. And I'd like to ask him to say a few words about the event, because this is going to be, they're putting everything behind it, and I think it's going to be really exciting. Roger, please.
Well, thank you, Mr. President. This is a really amazing time for us as a company to support the 250th anniversary for the country. And there's no better way for us to bring automotive and speed into the DC area, and to have the opportunity to be able to compete here with our Indy cars. As you know, we own the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, and we are taking that history of over 100 years and the speed and what's taken place there with the different manufacturers and bringing it here to this race will be amazing. Certainly the Freedom 250, when you think about it, it's just a byproduct to what the President has done during this year, and this will be an event obviously in August, which will make a huge difference, and we're excited. The areas for people to see, most of the grounds will be free, so it's going to be an economic benefit to the area, to the city, and obviously with our Fox partner, Eric Shanks, will be our media partner. And believe me, what they did for us at Indy this past year, they're going to take that and put it on steroids, really, and take it to the next level. So thank you, Mr. President, for allowing us to come into your city.
That's so great, Roger.
Thank you.
Great man. Eric, I'd like to have you say a few words. He's done a fantastic job at Fox, and he's really excited about this, and I know they're going to lay it on the line. Eric, please.
Sure. Well, thank you, Mr. President, for having us here today. Big shout out to Secretary Duffy. This project was kind of on life support until you stepped in recently and got us here today. Secretary Burgum, your team has been absolutely incredible.
Explain how many times you came to Washington trying to do this.
I think Bud came here 81 times.
81 meetings I had in Capitol
Meeting
Hill.
with senators, meeting with people at the Capitol, and they all wanted it. Everybody wanted it, but they couldn't figure it out. It was crazy. 80 some odd times. That's pretty amazing. So go ahead, please.
Right. Well, it's a real honor to be a partner with Roger and IndyCar, And at Fox Sports, we do the biggest events in sports. This year we have the FIFA World Cup that we'll be celebrating here as well. And then dovetailing right after that, to be able to celebrate America's birthday on Fox is an absolutely incredible honor. And everyone at Fox Sports can't wait to see exactly how this is going to unfold and bring it to life. So, Mr. President, thank you again for signing this today.
And the big thing, it's August 21st through the 23rd, and I believe the race is on the 23rd, right?
Yes.
That's going to be incredible. They're going to have practice sessions. It's going to be just a very exciting period, I think, for Washington. If I could, I'd like to ask Sean Duffy, the Secretary of Transportation, who's terrific and doing a great job. Much more important than Sean is we have Rachel Campos Duffy here, and she's one of the greatest people I know and one of the greatest people on television, so most of you know her, but I don't think we'll have her speak about the race because she knows less about it than anybody up here. But she is fantastic. Sean, please.
So the president gave us all a directive, which I'm grateful for. We're going to celebrate America's 250th birthday, and he asked all of us to think outside the box. How do we make this historic and cool, and let's all do this together? And he loves the country, he loves the birthday, and so we at DOT were working on this concept. We didn't know at the same time Penske was working on the same project too. And so we've come together, and Doug has been a wonderful partner. But to think 190 miles an hour down Pennsylvania Avenue, this is going to be wild. The last time we had a race in the capital city, Bud, was when?
1801, Thomas Jefferson with the horse race.
A horse race in 1801, Mr. President. Now we're going to do a real race.
That's so great. That's such a great.
So listen, this doesn't happen. You know, we just don't come in and ask the president to sign. There's a lot of work that goes into this, as you can tell. Bud and my chief of staff Pete all had a lot of meetings on the Hill. We couldn't be more excited about this. Again, I'm going to repeat, this is free for the American people to come to your nation's capital and see a great road race. Freedom, America, speed, and road racing. It doesn't get more American than that, Mr. President. So thank you for signing this, and thanks for all your support.
You are fantastic, and what a job you've done. They put it together very quickly. They've been coming here for years, and everybody wanted it. You know, every senator wants it, every Congress, everybody wants it, but they don't get things done. Trump gets things done. We didn't have 89 meetings. We had maybe a half a meeting. I think this is probably about a half a meeting. I'd like to thank Pete Meacham for the great job you've done representing us, and Luke Bunting. These are two young people that work with us, and they've really been fantastic. I'd like to ask Doug Burgum to say a few words. He's very much involved through his position of interior, because a lot of the space is interior. He sort of has, I think he's the largest landlord anywhere in the world by far. So Doug, could you say a few words, please?
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you, Mr. President. This birthday that's coming up, the 250th anniversary of America, Freedom 250, is the most monumental birthday maybe of any country ever in the history of the world. And President Trump, with his directive to celebrate this thing, we've got what's more American than race car driving? What's more monumental than the Indy 500 as an icon of what's going on in our country? And so merging the history and the tradition of our capital, Washington, D.C., with the speed and the innovation that goes on in the IndyCar series is incredible. And it's a great metaphor, because the speeds we're talking about is the speed of President Trump. I want to reiterate, there weren't 81 meetings with the Trump administration. I think
speed of Trump.
He got Sean and I going, and that was like from Saturday till now, we have a race.
1 week.
1 week we have a race, as opposed to like 4 months of talking. So I think there's also a metaphor here about President Trump, who's an incredible sportsman. He's an athlete himself, but he loves sports. And so whether it's soccer, UFC, the football draft, NFL football draft coming, IndyCar, and all the teams that he hosts here, I mean, to any American who loves sports, you ought to love this president, because he's bringing professional sports to our capital. And again, August 21st to 23rd, you talk talk about the economic impact. By the time all these reporters get done telling the story, there's not going to be a hotel room available in this city on that weekend because everybody's going to want to be here. Right. People that maybe have wanted to see an IndyCar race their whole life are now going to have an opportunity to come to their capital, celebrate 250, and see an IndyCar race for free. And they're going to be able to see it on the National Mall. And wherever you put down your lawn chair and watch this race for free, you're going to be staring at the Washington Monument, the Lincoln Memorial, the Jefferson Memorial, and I'm sure there's going to be fireworks this weekend too. I'm sure of that. And if you need a permit, you can get one from the Terrier. So anyway, it's absolutely incredible. And congratulations to Sean, the Penske organization, Fox Sports, everybody for putting together. This is going to be a great celebration for America.
Thank you very much, and you're doing a fantastic job. Could I just ask Bud Danker, he's the president of Penske Corporation, to say a few words, please?
Well, thank you, Mr. President. You know, Eric Shanks and I from Fox had this dream, and just last July, and could it ever be possible to bring a race to our nation's capital to celebrate our country's history? And everybody said there's no way. It's impossible. How do you put a race on at 190 miles an hour in a city like Washington, D.C.? I came here, I walked this area for a while, I found a racetrack on the Capitol grounds, up against a lot of meetings and couldn't get the kind of support we need. So within a week, Secretary Duffy and we put this together with the president, didn't we? And now we have a race here on our city property, on the national properties that is going to celebrate America. The word free shouldn't be overridden because we are going to have a free event here. People come out and celebrate our country's history. I also want to thank Mayor Bowser. She has been a great partner.
Bowser!
So.
What?
Mr. President, you're a great supporter of what you've done.
Bowser!
We thank her for this. But we're going to have an amazing event.
I get triggered when I hear her name.
We want everybody to come out for free and enjoy this and celebrate our country the way it should be here in the nation.
Did your dog freak out, Shady, when I did that?
And I said, pick the best site. It's very important. Pick the best site. Don't go for second or third because there are a lot of different routes. I said, pick, even if it's more difficult to get approved. Pick the absolute best site. And they were actually looking at another site, and when I said that, they said, well, the best site is this site, the site we're doing. I said, let's take a look at it, and we think it's the best site too. It's actually better than the original site they were looking at, but if we're going to do it, we want to do it right. So this is going to be something in terms of the road width, the crowds, and everything else that we can all, the best site, one of the best sites I've ever seen, actually, and it'll be beautiful. So I'm going to sign this, and if you have any questions on this subject, that'd be great.
Okay.
Named a new.
I can't wait to hear the press.
Today, you know
the press, guys.
He's
so he's signing it.
He's like Roger Penske.
Let's go ahead. There it is.
Thank you.
Okay.
Strong, young, pretty young.
Let's see
and
let me just go a little forward here. Okay.
He's had to really have rate hikes too, but he's very smart.
Okay, he's talking about the new Fed chair, Shady.
Strong, young, pretty young, and I think he's going to do that. I mean, he was the central casting guy that people wanted.
Good to see you,
Kevin
DJ Base.
I tell you what.
Thank you.
Numerous people. Every
Also,
one of them were.
EMP Hens, thank you so much for the subscription to the MG
I
show.
wanted to keep Kevin here, and I thought that I called Kevin 1, Kevin 2, and we have. I said it's going to be a Kevin.
Kevin.
But Kevin really has.
Kevin is 61.
Kevin equals 61.
And so we have Kevin W.
61 is QAnon.
Yeah.
Are you concerned, Mr. President, about the confirmation hearings? We've heard
No.
Senator Tillis.
No.
That's a serial brain thing, guys.
Investigation.
This is
So when
in
Q
the
was
whole
posting all the time,
country.
I'd go, Kevin! Dang it, Kevin!
Perfect candidate.
We're still triggered like 10 years later.
This was the man that's most qualified. Top student.
There's Poussin. Kevin!
She's immediately there.
Kevin! Got the whole package. Looks dumb.
Dang it, Kevin, I was trying to get some sleep. Now you're posting? Jeez.
The look is okay. But he's got the whole package, and I think he's going to do a great job, and he loves the country. Please, in the back, yes.
Are you giving Iran any kind of deadline to make a deal before potentially taking
Only
military
they
action?
know for sure.
Have you communicated?
Yeah, we're going to do an IndyCar race in Iran, too.
Yeah.
Do you have a timeline for when you're going to pull back potentially the federal presence there?
We'll see how it all works out.
They really want us not to do anything, right?
Yes.
Are they just used to inaction and they just want to stop doing stuff?
Yeah, because we have to report on it when you do things. It's work. You're generating work.
Then we have to figure out another narrative of how you suck, President Trump. I mean, these people are insane.
He's forcing him to come up with spin.
Racing's a lot nicer.
Cracks me up, dude.
They were going to hang 837 people.
I
and I told
am
them,
the
"You
lint.
do it, you're going to pay a price like nobody.
He is the belly button.
That's right, Shane Walker. Remember that?
A lot of people are being killed, so we'll see what happens.
Oh my God.
I can say this.
Jay Walker's been here a minute.
Mr. President, about Virginia, actually. Virginia flipped the governorship, and now they're looking at 50 proposals to increase taxes. What do you think about that?
Well, I think it's terrible. I think a lot of people will leave Virginia. I saw that. Look, Glenn was a friend of mine, Glenn Youngkin, and worked so hard on cutting taxes. This woman came in one swoop, she raised everything up higher than it ever was. I don't understand it. I mean, people voted for Democrat, but she came in and she raised, and I'll work with her like I work with everyone else, but she came into Virginia, raised everything to a point like taxes that nobody ever even heard of before. And I don't understand. How do people get elected with this kind of philosophy? This is only in the very modern age. You know, I grew up and I've always heard politicians will cut taxes, everybody screaming we're going to cut taxes. I cut taxes. I gave you
George Bush, no new taxes. Remember that, guys?
In the history of our country, in the great big beautiful bill. No tax on tips, no tax on Social Security, no tax on overtime. Interest deductions, Roger, when somebody buys a car, they can deduct the interest if they borrow money. That's the biggest thing in terms of the car business, right?
American-made ones.
Correct. So we have, you know, I give tax cuts and they give tax increases. I don't know how they get elected. They get elected because they cheat. You want to know that?
Illegal immigration.
If they didn't cheat,
they wouldn't be elected.
Horrible policy. Transgender for everyone. They have the little thing about open borders so that the world's prison population and mental hospitals can be emptied into our country. It's just a crazy. Men playing in women's sports. Roger, are you a fan of men playing in women's sports? Only as a bettor. If you'd like to bet, if you're not a big fan. I don't think so. I don't want to get him in trouble, but I think he joins in 99% of. They say it's an 80-20 issue. I think it's maybe 99. It's 99-1.
Mr. President, why are you suing your own administration and the IRS? Why are you suing?
Who are you with?
I'm with ABC News.
You're a loud person. Very loud.
Why are you suing IRS?
ABC fake news.
You're suing.
Go ahead. I didn't call on you. Go ahead, please. Go ahead.
Right here.
Yeah.
Do you think the upcoming talks...
ABC, by the way, is truly one of the worst. Go ahead.
Do you think the upcoming talks between Russia and Ukraine stand a chance without U.S. envoy Witkoff and Jared Kushner there?
I think they stand a chance. We've been trying. I've ended 8 wars. All of them I thought were going to be maybe tougher than this one. But Zelensky and Putin hate each other, and it makes it very difficult. But I think we're getting very close to getting a settlement. Hundreds of thousands of people, mostly soldiers, have been killed. Last week they lost 29,000 people. Last month they lost 29,000 soldiers. Can you believe that, fellas? 29,000. You lose one race driver and it's a big deal. 29,000 soldiers in 1 month. 27,000 the month before. I think that I think that we have a good chance of getting it settled. Yeah, ma'am, please.
Mr. President, on the Warsh nomination, what is your strategy for getting past the hold that Senator Tillis has on this process? He said he won't allow.
Well, that's that kind of thinking is why he's no longer a senator. He's going to be out of office. It's too bad. I always liked Senator Tillis actually, but he did some things that were not smart. And whatever. I mean, if he doesn't approve, we'll just have to wait till somebody comes in that will approve it, right? So that's it. But I saw that he wants to be an obstructionist, but we have a lot of obstructionists. I've had a lot, and we've created the best presidency maybe ever.
On Iran, a follow-up. If Iran doesn't make a deal, is your plan to replicate there what you just did in Venezuela?
I don't want to say that.
Yes!
I don't want to.
Let me tell you, we're going to go on February 12th, Jeff's birthday, and then we're going to go get him. Just stop.
He's going to open the drawer and start bringing out the paperwork.
Yeah, here you go. Let's go through my plans.
Get the camera in here.
I think be able to say that. But
And we do look like Mystery Science 3000. We just need our silhouettes right here, Shady Grove.
I know. I love it.
Now we're
I saw the
building
comment.
Bigger, better, stronger than ever before. I'm adding to it.
My favorite
We're
joke.
adding something called a battleship. You would find this.
We thought of that
You know, the
before.
old-fashioned, beautiful battleships. And we're adding up to 25.
I just couldn't make it
of them.
happen.
Each battleship is 100 times more powerful than the battleships of the 1940s, those big, powerful ones with the guns, because of what the ships carry. But we're going to build 10, and then we'll see how we like them, and we're going to go and do another 15 after that. Could be up to 25 battleships. 100 times more powerful. Can you imagine that? And it's peace through strength. We don't want to use them, but if we have to use them, we will.
Mr. President.
On the Fed, should the DOJ continue with its investigation into Jay Powell? That seems to be a sticking point for Senator Tellis.
Well, he's got a building that, you know, I build buildings, and I build them under budget, ahead of schedule. I build them, but they're within reason always. And this is a small little complex that's costing billions of dollars, most expensive job per square foot ever built. And it's a little complex. It's a little Fed complex. I built the hotel on Pennsylvania Avenue, and I built it for around $200 million, and it's bigger than that. They're spending many times that amount to do a renovation of a building. I've heard numbers as high as $4 billion. $4 billion to build a building. I could have renovated that building and fixed it up, made it beautiful for $25 million. They're going to spend close to $4 billion on it. So it's either gross incompetence or it's theft. Somebody's making money, because you can't spend. It's more per square, and you have half a building there. You know, you have the structure, you have the exterior skin that they're not changing much. They're building a building, and they're spending almost, I mean, I'm hearing numbers of between $3 and $4 billion. It's the most expensive structure ever built per square foot. So he's either incompetent, or he or somebody is a crook. And we'll find out.
Mr. President.
Boom.
On Minneapolis.
All crooks. POTUS.
On Minneapolis, Governor Tim Walz recently likened the conflict on the ground.
Thank you for the subscription, Ducks.
That this is the beginning of a civil war. Do you agree with that characterization? Do you feel like
It's a civil war
in one city.
Do you know what Fort Sumter was, or do you think somebody wrote it out for him?
He doesn't know what Fort
I
Sumter
was
was.
elected on law and order. I was elected on a strong border. We had a border that allowed 25 million people to come in. Many were murderers. They murdered people. We had 11,888 murderers. We had prisons, including Venezuela, but Venezuela opened its prisons. So did the Congo. The Congo in Africa opened its prisons. They dumped people into our country. Many countries did that. I would have done that if I were leading a country. I would have dumped the prisoners into our country. We had open borders. We had all these things. I was elected on law and order. I was elected on the economy. I was elected on a lot of reasons. Because when I took over, we inherited a mess. Prices were too high. Inflation was the highest it was in 48 years. I say ever, but the media always corrects me by saying it's only 48 years. I think 48 years almost sounds worse. But when I was elected to do a job. And one of the big things I was elected to do is law and order. We now have the lowest crime rate in the history of our country. We have the lowest murder rate in the history of our country. We have Washington, D.C., which was a dangerous place to walk, is now a totally safe city. You can walk with your husband or your wife. You can walk with your children right down the middle of the city. Nothing's going to happen. We did a great job. We had the National Guard. We have soldiers. We have people that nobody's going to mess with. And we've taken out. Remember, it's not just that. In Washington, we've removed over 2,000 criminals. And you know, if you look at the numbers, a very small percentage of your population, 2%, 3% of your population causes 90% of the crime. So when you move a small, it's amazing how that works, but the criminals go over and over and over again. So 2 to 3% of your population can cause over 90% of your crime. So it's not that complex. We moved 2,000 people out of Washington. We brought them back to their countries where they came from. They came through open borders by Sleepy Joe Biden. And I will tell you, Washington is safe. If you look at New Orleans, as you know, we went there about 4 weeks ago. I was with the mayor of New Orleans last night. He was at the premiere, and she was at the premiere. She was great. I believe she's a Democrat. She came over. She thanked me so much. She said crime is down more than 50% in just a few weeks. And you couldn't even walk down the street in New Orleans. It's so bad. And now they let us in there, and she is thanking me so much, so profusely. She was great last night. I'd do that if I were a Democrat. I'd say call Trump and let them do what they do. But we remove people, criminals, from the cities, and they become safe cities. If you look at Minnesota, Minneapolis, we have crime down there because we took out thousands of people, despite all the mess and everything else. But do these people really want to have rapists? Do they really want to have drug dealers and people from prisons and murderers? Do they really want to have
pedophiles?
It's really insurrectionists and agitators, and they're paid. And you can tell a lot of reasons. Number one, they're professionals, with their mouth. But they're also, you look at the signs are all professionally made. They have signs that are gorgeous. In fact, I want to get the sign because I need a lot of signs for different things, and I want to find out whoever does their signs, they do a beautiful job. Everybody has this beautiful sign with brand new wood. It's like leather panels. They have a leather handle on the bottom. These are not people these are people that are handed signs, and we know pretty much, we're getting very close to it, but we know pretty much who's funding this stuff. These are paid insurrectionists.
Welcome to the No Borders, Pro-Pedo, Destroy ICE, Socialist Movement, Antifa, the arm of the Democrat Party.
Popular vote by a lot.
Dark to light.
I want everything. And I was elected by a landslide on law and order and on strong borders. We had a border that was so bad, so open, where 25 million people came in over a period of 4 years, and now nobody comes in. Nobody even tries to come in. And I can only say, I think we'll say it very plainly, elections have consequences. The people want law and order. And we have a silent majority. We have a silent majority of people. They don't go and riot and everything else, but they like what we're doing. They like having a safe city. I get calls every single day. Every person I see working in the White House, people I don't know, many people work here, and they say, I'd like to thank you, sir. Why? You've made Washington so great. We walk to work. They walk to work. You people know it very well. You walk to work now. You used to take an Uber or a taxi or something, and you even felt.
Thank you, Dux. Thank you, EMP.
There. Every person in this building, virtually every time I see somebody, they thank me. Because a year and a half ago, they lived in hell, and now they can walk to work, and they're totally safe. Nothing's going to happen. And if anything did happen, the person that did it would be living in hell for a long period of time. Thank you very much, Thank you very much.
Wow. It's interesting, all of the questions were really all about are you going to back out of, Iran? Are you going to back out of Venezuela? Are you going to do this? They're just a party of inaction. They just don't want to do anything. They had a 4-year reprieve of BS, except for, trying to cover up Biden's health issue, Shady. These people are absolutely ridiculous. Thanks, Rev Rob.
Yeah, they are absolutely ridiculous. And effectual surrection, domestic terrorists known as Antifa and commies in the deep state and socialists believe that all oppression is in the violence is a result of capitalism. That's actually a good point to make, because that is the point that they end up making. All of these people are not recognizing that the idea that people are paying you to go out and protest is capitalism, but they're going out to protest capitalism. It doesn't really make any logical sense. It's hypocritical at its core, at the center of it. All of that, everything that they do is hypocritical in the regard that it's only about them. Everything that they tell you that you have to do is because it's what they want you to do. It has nothing to do with what it is that you want to do. And that's what people have to realize about communism. There's no point of agreement, or there's no point of disagreement. There's no, we can compromise. You saw it in the O'Keefe video the other day that we showed you very, very clearly. No matter what you say to them, they are going to be opposed to you unless you are on their team.
Wow. And by the way, looks like it'll be a partial government shutdown. We're keeping an eye on that. Also, it's funny, DHS has been funded for 3 to 4 years because of the big, beautiful bill. It won't even defund or stop any of the crap, Shady Grove. Isn't that great?
Yeah, actually, it's just going to slow down them being able to get the money to all of their little offshore accounts and back around to their 501c4s.
That's right. I want to welcome ASIN314. Thank you. That's a new person that I haven't seen before. I'm glad you're here. You might have been watching before, but if you are, The Great Conspiracy, thank you very much for coming as well. We got some new names in here, and just, if you guys are just watching, go ahead and sign up for a Rumble account and get in here and chat with the Patriots. It's fun. Go to rumble.com/MG show or just go over to youtube.com/InTheMatrix. Shady, do you want to do mailbag right now?
I will. We'll work on it whenever you're ready to get started on it, sir.
Oh, well, let's do this, Shady Joe.
Yep, come on. Here's the mail, it never fails. It makes me want to wag my tail. When it comes, I want to wail.
Yeah.
Wow, what an introduction.
It's mailbag time, bro.
Wow. Well, I have a couple of people to thank, randomly to thank you so much. Dragon Slap, God bless you, sir. I appreciate your donation that you sent in the mail, and also Fatal Attractions, really killing it out there with the with some of the merch. Jeff, you should show the comment that I made to the post from the show today. I put that picture of the flag that I got up there for our show comment today. So I also like to thank Fatal Attractions, and I'm going to have to get his because you guys need to go follow him. It's really amazing. Amazing people to support the show and to send us stuff to help us fundraise is just an amazing aspect of what we're all doing here. At FATT336 on Twitter. FATT336 on Twitter. Thank you so much for sending us the stickers and stuff, and then a couple of other things. So get into a number of other things. Here we go. This was sent to us. Cure Your Fatigue. Sent to us by a great patriot that's been with us for a while, Jeff. This would be HTMA Anon. Thank you.
Oh, wow. Thank you
so much for considering this, talking about, send us a letter explaining about how they first found Q, talking about I'm not going to read everything to you guys, but the found the Joe M video and then found us. It looks like around 2018. Others have all fallen away. Love you guys. Love you on Red State Talk Radio, Rumble. Now full circle back on YouTube, but explaining to me that this book, for all of you guys, just some information, and I have not read it yet, and I was not on my radar. Cure Your Fatigue is the root cause of how to fix it on your own, really focusing in on discovering the power of minerals to boost and prevent and reverse chronic illness. So very interesting. I'm excited to read this book and get a little bit more insight because, Jeff, we're not getting any younger.
I am.
Okay, well, not for much longer.
Hey, now you listen here.
What I'm talking about. And I also have to say, I'm so sorry because I made a terrible, egregious error and left home before Christmas without taking care of the box, Jeff. And so they didn't get me the mail sent until recently. So everything was delayed. I'm a horrible human being, and I so apologize for that. Merry Christmas. From Ray and Dina, thank you so much. Much love to each of you guys out there, and thank you for supporting the MG show financially. Also, we have Celebrate the Season with Happiness and Peace. Thank you so much to Willow Rose for the great prayers and Thanksgiving Foundation Center of the Truth. May every moment a choice, Spirit of Truth, voice God in heavenly and all the earth's blessings. And so thank you so much. We're going to read some Christmas mail because Shady is way behind. And then also we have AKA Liberty Bell. Thank you so much, Liberty Bell. And sent us a nice letter, Jeff, that it's a little bit private just to us. I'll read it to you later. I did just get the mail yesterday. So Jeff has not heard your great comments yet, but I will get the AI to read it to him later. I'm gonna set up the AI to read them all the mail so that I can just go out and do stuff, and Jeff has to sit and keep working, which is exactly what we need to do.
That's what happens every day, bro.
Well, it's like any other day.
I love you, bro. Thank you.
And also Timothy and Dana, thank you so much for sending us a note. And my husband and I are not very computer savvy or cell phone savvy, but we've been listening to you guys for a very long time. I used to listen to Isaac Happy and then you guys. We really appreciate how you break down literally everything, help us not be afraid, and it is so helpful. My husband and I both have Rumble Premium, and I thought if we send a check that you would get it all. Love our MG Patriot family. Well, the MG Patriot family loves you.
Thank you.
And it's very, very amazing to have people out there to send you comments and stuff like this in the mail. And maybe if Yeti, if he hasn't already put the address up, because we do get the mail. It just takes a minute sometimes. But really, man, I mean, to hear the way that you guys write to us and the things that you say to us, not just here in the Rumble chat or the comments on the video, but the personal messages over the years. I actually have an amazing box of all the different things that has been written to this show that hopefully one day we maybe can display somehow. I don't really know where it's all going, but it's been a magical journey to think that two guys can come to a conversation and generate so much excitement, so much fun, so much truth. It's like when I was a kid listening to Bill Cooper, you didn't really listen to it for fun. I was sitting there with a pen, writing stuff down, digging into things, so intensely interested. But doing what we do, I feel like adds a layer of patriotism to the American experience as far as like what we're trying to do and fix this country together. Because none of us are going to do it alone. And all these people that we've been fighting and been trying to stop us from doing this are dead.
DWA9 just sent love and appreciation. God bless. Thank you so much. Appreciate you.
God bless you so very much. And here we have from Phyllis, dear Jeff and Shady, so grateful that I found you since Rumble in August. Just an old gal here, 76, but the day you get on your YouTube, the day you got your YouTube back to me is a gift of reassurance. So thank you so much for that, and to see there's the number of people out there that remember us on YouTube that are still listening to us. Can we get a 17 in the chat for anybody out there that was listening to the MG show on YouTube and found us through Red State Talk Radio and then came to Rumble, and here we are back.
They tried to get rid of us, but we fought back, and it's because of you that we fought back, guys.
We wouldn't have been able to without them. We wouldn't have survived if they didn't go buy my pillow, if they didn't even all the support. I'm still proud of the support that we generated for General Flynn's foundation whenever we did it. Yeah, I know, but I'm proud of the work that we did. I'm proud because it forced him to acknowledge our show, and we were the first show that he came on after he got his pardon, because he understood the amount of work that we had done to fund his foundation. And I'm not going to take
Shady, that was just yesterday. That was a Delta yesterday that he came on our show.
Yep. Yeah.
2020.
No, well, I think he came on the show. Oh, yeah, maybe it was.
It was because it was in my Facebook memory.
Gotcha. Right.
Yikes.
Oh, but like I said, thank you. Yeah. Thank you for helping us become noticed, because effectively that's what it ended up doing. That's true. Then we have a great, wonderful Christmas card here from Jerry and Connie. Thank you so much, Jerry and Connie, for the blessings and the gift. Love someone have a sister in Medford, so maybe I'll check in with her sometime. And so that gets me through the majority of the mailbag. And then you had something you wanted to read today too, that we got a nice comment this morning also that I thought was amazing.
This is really good. It's from Tony with an I. Thank you. I am so thankful, grateful to you and you both. I've learned of the MG show when you were on Scott McMahon's show. Thank you so much, Scott. Thank you. You are amazing in all the work, research, production of your show blows me away. What I'm so grateful for is the truth. The MG show is the best rehab for victims of his glory. I hope one day soon, old Patriot Dave, Patriot Dave, is rounded up along with those that hate America and all the illegals here. I'm not going to give away some of that stuff, but I love God Almighty, America, MG show, and Trump. Thank you so very much for all you have done and are doing. You are awesome. Love, prayers, and blessings sent your way, Tony. These are the kind of comments that I got chills, Shady.
It's so awesome.
I got chills.
It makes my heart swell.
Asen right here, 314, Ephesians 4:25. Therefore, having put away falsehood, let each one of you speak the truth with his neighbor, for we are members of one another. God bless you. Thank you for that. That's a great reminder. President Hugh, 1 subscription. Thank you. So this is the kind of stuff that keeps us going, Shady Grove. This is, you get. I always said, if you can help one person in life, you did good. Maybe we've helped more than one, Shady, and that's what makes my heart full. And it's just because of our quench for the truth, whether we like it or not, guys. I want the truth. Okay, we found out the truth about General Flynn. We helped him. We traveled the country with him. We're literal whistleblowers of how these asshats act and who they are. We have the whole network mapped, and we've had it mapped for a long time. Now, Dan Bongino saying stick up for Flynn is now saying, oh my God, Flynn's bad. He's a black pill, General Black Pill. Okay. This is after he worked for Kash Patel. Kashyap Patel has been on our show several times. He loves this show. He even wrote it. I love the MG show in my book. I love you guys. I love coming on your show. And he knows that there are fake decoders out there because in that CNN interview that everybody hated, he's like, I agree with some of the Q movement. Okay. And because there's people out there doing all these false decodes, we know who they are. And they usually have a 17 or a Q in their name. It's very interesting how that works, isn't it? Like Guitaran on 17. That guy doesn't follow Q. That is who Q was telling you to stay away from. This is the kind of stuff that we've had to live and learn, and the experience that we've had from Discord days, being called into Discord, surrounded by a bunch of felons, essentially, that helped us actually for a while, which is really interesting. We thought we made friends, and all of a sudden, one day later, boom, 4,000 people in a server turn against us. They turned that server into an attack server. Red Pill 78 did his show from there, attacking me and Shady Groove. For what? For going someplace and talking? This is the kind of black pill crap that we are trying to avoid. This show, Shady and I, have dedicated our thought process, our experience to identify psychological operations that are being perpetuated on you, the American people, on us in this movement. There's different layers. Sometimes, people are like, I'm not on X. I don't know what's going on. I mean, I don't even really know who General Flynn, but we're trying to expose everybody and everything that has affected this movement in a negative way. And I think Dan Bongino's new show, I think it's February 3rd that he comes, his first show. I think it's going to be a doozy. I'm definitely going to try to watch it, after this show, of course. I think he's on right before us, then us. So watch Dan Bongino, then come over to us, okay? We are really proud that he unblocked us, and he's now on the right side of history, in my opinion, and I think he's got more as well. But we have a lot more too, Shady Groove, and we've had a lot more too. We have been wrong a lot until we were right. And that is why we're always wrong until we're right. The truth is learned, never told. I mean, people can tell you whatever they want to tell you until you go look it up yourself. That's when you learn. Okay. Otherwise it's just people telling you things. Okay, and that's why I love this show. That's why I love working with you, Shady. That's why I love our producer, Yeti. That's why I love God. That's why I love you all. Shady Groove.
We're so blessed. We're so blessed to be alive in a time where we can clearly stand there and say that you could not sit and manifest or articulate or point to or come up with or be creative and say I'd rather be in that timeline. There is no better timeline than the one we're in. And a long time ago in the Q Lounge Live, I told you that we were on a parallel track, but the tracks only look parallel because eventually they're actually pointed towards one another a little bit. And eventually we intersect. We're reaching the point of intersection right now in society. You have these people in Minnesota screaming, oh, we're going to have a civil war. Okay, well, those are the insurrectionists. All the people that are saying, oh, we want to get ICE out. Those are the criminals, the criminal element. All the politicians, oh, we're going to defend the illegals and say, oh, we're going to give them tip lines so that they can report on ICE. These are all the criminal element, and they are showcasing themselves perfectly for all of us to see. And at the core of it, what we're getting ready to do here in the next hour on the MG show is we're getting ready to move into the Rumble Premium process, but Rumble Premium will not be premium this week. Everybody will get to see this hour of content coming up where we read in depth about the bloodline families that Donald Trump is fighting. Let's just take all the BS out of it. This is the simple math. Donald Trump, you, us, the American people are fighting an establishment that you can't see, you can't articulate, you can't put your hands on, you cannot put it in a box, and you cannot paint a picture for someone to look at. It's a control mechanism that we're all fighting, and that control mechanism is losing its death grip on the throat of humanity, not just Americans, the throat of humanity. This is what we're waking people up to. This is the reason we're motivated to be here and be in a good mood and be excited about what it is that Donald Trump is doing every single day, because we don't see him faltering. And if we did, we would report on it.
We'll report it. We will report it. Great sentiment, Shady. So let's just do this. YouTube, don't go away. We got another hour. This is not going to be premium. Facebook, don't go away. We got another hour. But if you do want to join Rumble Premium for all of it, check out this hour that we're going to do. And if you like it, subscribe to Rumble Premium. You've got to go over to Rumble, rumble.com/MG show, and get on it. Also, I really quick want to thank one more person here, Storm Rider, 5 subscriptions to the MG show. I think Rev Rob, I thank you too. And anybody else that has funded this show, the Cash App, Bronwyn, thank you so much. I had a couple of others, and you guys, Cash App is Real MG Show. PayPal is Real MG Show. If you want to do it that way, great. Thank you. But I want to just make sure that we try to, thank everyone. MG.show/support as well. We can't do this without you. Debbie, thank you. Bronwyn, thank you. And Danny, thank you. Those are the most recent ones. Also, Valerie, a couple times. Thank you. And this is just on, and Rhett, these are just on the Cash App. Real MG Show on the Cash App. Yeti, let's just go ahead and let's do our hour number 2. Shady, what do you think? Want to dive into it?
Let's dive into it.
All right, let's go. Yeti, take it away.
The MG Show. Not funded by dark money, but funded by listeners like you.
Was Hitler just a pawn? A handler in shadows, calling his name while the world was drawn and gone. What was the purpose, the real one unseen, behind the smoke and the fire? Soros was young, but the wheels kept turning, building a global empire. Since the fall of the Reich, the players remain. Merkel rises, who is she? Follow her bloodline, dig through the pain. Truth's buried in history. Bloodlines and shadows controlling the game. Titanic sank, but who's to blame? The Fed pulls strings, the narrative's tight. The truth's too heavy, it burns in the night. Sheep follow blindly, the story's a lie. Unravel the secrets before we all die. Titanic went down 1912. Why is it still relevant now? Who died on that ship? Who made the list? Who escaped? And how? The elite got lifeboats, the rest left to drown. Class was the key to survive. Names on the records, but some never found. How do we know who's alive? Tickets were bought, but who was invited? Less than 10 held the key. The Fed was born, a beast in the night, controlling the world's money. Who runs the Fed? Who signed its birth? intertwined. The truth's so dark, it breaks the world. 99% couldn't cope. Controlled in doses, the story unfolds, but we're climbing the rope. Who writes the script? Who shapes the tale? The elite with blood on their hands. We're waking up now, we're breaking the spell, tearing down their plans. Bloodlines and shadows controlling the game. Titanic sank, but who's to blame? The Fed pulls strings, the narrative's tight. The truth's too heavy, it burns in the night. Sheep follow blindly, the story's a lie. Unravel the secrets before we all die. Close my eye, fine.
Wow. I love that song, guys. It's on YouTube. We've got a playlist. You go to YouTube In the Matrix with 3X's channel. You go there, hit playlists, and I've got a bunch of songs there. I don't have them all there, but I got a bunch of them there. Check them out. And it's, here we are. Shady Groove, welcome back. This is the Bloodlines. Follow the Bloodlines, guys. The reason why we're following the Bloodlines is because Q asked us to, okay? If you look at the Bloodlines posts, we go ahead and look at those right now. This is how did Soros replace Family Y? Who is Family Y? Trace the bloodlines of these three families. What happened during World War II? Was Hitler a puppet? And this is what the song was written on, too. Was Hitler a puppet? Who was his handler? What was his purpose? What was the real purpose of the war? What age was George Soros? What is the Soros family history? What has occurred since the fall of Nazi Germany? Who is Angela Merkel? What is A. Merkel's family history? Could she be Hitler's daughter? Follow the bloodline. Who died on the Titanic? What year did the Titanic sink? Why is this relevant? What exactly happened to the Titanic? What class of people were guaranteed a lifeboat? Why did the select individuals not make it to the lifeboat? Why is this relevant? How do we know who was on the lifeboats? D or A? How were names and bodies recorded back then? When were tickets purchased for her maiden voyage? Who was specifically invited? Less than 10. What is the Fed? And now we have a new Fed chair, guys. What is the Fed? What does the Fed control? Who controls the Fed? Now we know Donald Trump will. Who approved the formation of the Fed? How did Hollywood glorify Titanic as a tragic love story? Who lived in the movie? What man? Why is this relevant? Opposite is true. What is brainwashing? What is a psyop? What happened to the Hindenburg? What really happened to the Hindenburg? Who died during the accident? Why is this relevant? What are sheep? Who controls the narrative? The truth would put 99% of the people in the hospital. It must be controlled. Snow White, Iron Eagle, Jason Bourne, CIA Dream. Then we've got this one, Shady Groove, hard to swallow. Important to progress. Who are the puppet masters? House of Sod, 6+++ trillion, 4 trillion plus. Or excuse me, Rothschild, 6++, 2 trillion. Soros, 6+, 1 trillion. Focus on the above three. And by the way, each one of the bailouts in Trump's history was 4 trillion, 2 trillion, and 700 million, which is interesting, Shady Groove, about the numbers of those in the first Trump term. Focus on the above three. Public wealth disclosures, false. Many governments of the world feed the eye. Think slush funds, feeder. Think war, feeder. Think environmental pacts, feeder. The triangle has three sides. Eye of Providence. Follow the bloodlines. What is the keystone? Does Satan exist? Does the thought of Satan exist? Who worships Satan? What is a cult? Epstein Island. What is a temple? What occurs in a temple? Worship. Why is the temple on top of a mountain? How many levels might exist below? What is the significance of the colors, design, and symbol above the dome? Why is this relevant? Who are the puppet masters? Have puppet masters traveled to this island? When? How often? Why? A quote from Vladimir Putin. The New World Order worships Satan. Q. Then, Shady Groove, real quick to tell the story about how we got here. Then my post, Shady Groove, the Matrix post, it was on my birthday. I was anonymous, and on 2/12, the Matrix post dropped. Shady, coincidence, Matrix, the movie, very interesting. And that post actually is in the second paragraph of the opener in this book, guys. Yep. It's very interesting, Shady.
It's very interesting, and thank you for reading that, because that gives you the context to understand what it is that both of us even though we did not know each other when that post came out. It would be months before we would meet one another, but both of us read that and understood that the person that was posting these messages was giving information that was leading people to the truth. Okay. There's a lot of charlatans out there that will pretend like they're trying to lead you to the truth, but they lead you away from this understanding that the church, the secret societies, this ancient blood cult, ancient death cult, whatever it is still the source from which they draw their power, and still the source from which they deem themselves kings over the earth. So effectively, that is what you're dealing with. You're dealing with a cult that deems itself the king, even though it has no kingship, even though there is nothing granted to it other than it granting it to itself, therefore thinking that it gets to lord over you. America interceded with that plan, and they didn't like it. So they spent the last 100 years trying to destroy us and all the wealth that was created and trying to take it back for themselves, because the peasants do not deserve to live comfortable.
That's right. And real quick, Shay, this is my birthday post in 2018, 2/12/2018, Q post 749. Happens to be my favorite post. Coincidence Matrix movie grew people as a crop used for energy and controlled their mind. Sound familiar? Wonder where they derive that idea from. Now comes the conspiracy label. Deeper we go, the more unrealistic it all becomes. The end won't be for everyone. That choice to know will be yours. And again, it says, the truth isn't for everyone. People will go into the back into their hole. The end won't be for everyone. That choice, it's your choice to know, is all in the second paragraph of the Bloodlines of the Illuminati forward, Shady Group. Pretty interesting.
And then the choice to know is yours.
It is yours. And, I also, I was cued quite a bit too, and it's pretty interesting. And, it's weird to be attacked by people that followed Q allegedly, but they all attack me.
Mm-hmm.
Isn't that weird?
It is weird. Well, it's completely weird because we don't read it the way they do.
Yeah,
we were fine while we were reading. Well, actually, we weren't fine. Initially, we weren't fine, and then we were fine because we were reading it the way they did. And then once we realized that that's not what it was saying about Flynn, then the exact same people that said we weren't fine to begin with and apologized to us and said we were fine, then said there was something wrong with us because of what we found.
That's right. It's weird. It's really weird. And the president of the United States just exposed General Flynn, Patrick Byrne, Sidney Powell, all telling you about the election was going to be overturned. See, that's what people are missing in there. They're saying, oh, you mean the election in 2020 wasn't rigged? No, it absolutely was rigged, guys. But this post that Trump is saying is people were saying that Trump was going to be the president. Okay? They were saying that it's going to be overturned to President Trump. That's the narrative that the media, and if you read Dan Bongino's post, people in this movement are feeding the left mainstream news to attack this movement with garbage. The garbage was devolution, essentially. Trump is going to be president. We're going to overturn it. That's the garbage. Hammer and scorecard, all that crap.
That's absolutely feeding the fire that generated the devolution hype. Without feeding that fire that generated the devolution hype, without going out there and saying, oh, remember the Ann Vandersteel video with General McInerney where the music's playing in their background? Oh, we've got the super secret intel on the January like the 1st or something, or at the New Year's Eve gala, that Donald Trump has, in fact, already signed the Insurrection Act. That's what they told. That's what they reported. And then all of the numbnuts, Charlie Ward, Simon Parks, Patel Patriot, all these other people went with it. And that's the reason that we're in this situation where all these people are completely confused and have no clue how to orient themselves. And they're all being subjected to the InfoWars narratives that Donald Trump is somehow doing something wrong, or something's wrong with Pam Bondi, or Kash Patel is doing right at the FBI.
Indirectly attacking Donald Trump through people in his administration.
Correct. That's exactly right. And I think that says more than anything, because they don't have the cojones to say it about Trump. They don't have the wherewithal to come out and actually criticize the man in the arena because they know what the backlash will be. So instead, they try to go after the people around him, Kristi Noem or Tom Homan or Kash Patel or Pam Bondi, and each side of the uniparty, whether it be Thomas Massey, Rand Paul, or Cory Booker and Hakeem Jeffries, they're all doing the same thing to Trump.
It's amazing. And Michael Flynn Jr. Got outed by Harmeet Dillon, and we went to the, because we know who these people are, and Harmeet Dillon's personal account followed me.
Yes.
I mean, that's huge, guys.
And I think that you're onto something there, Stone. I think part of Q was to confuse them and the enemy and make them think that he was going to sign the Insurrection Act. I 100% agree with that.
Yeah.
I 100% agree with that. That's exactly what it was leading them to believe. It was creating a level of desperation that forced them kind of over the top. All of the stuff that they did on J6 and all of the stuff leading up to that and everything else that they did, all of that, Roger Stone, Storm Foretold, all of that stuff you saw was exactly that. 100%.
Yeah, pretty amazing. Shady, are we on the Collins bloodline? What page are you on?
We're not quite there yet. We're on Bundy, sir. We're on like the McGeorge Bundy would be on page 24. We got to the top of that paragraph. We just read about the Onassis family, connections to the intelligence community, the Bundy family, and Alger Hiss, and a number of the other people that are connected to that last week. And we're on McGeorge Bundy.
McGeorge Bundy?
Yes, that's the one.
All right.
How did you know?
And, it's interesting, too, guys, because Q said that the information is hidden in plain sight, like sight, like you can see. It's hidden in plain sight. And so if you're talking about Follow the Bloodlines, this book is on the CIA.gov website. It was seized at the Abbottabad compound where bin Laden was, okay? But it's hidden in plain sight on the CIA website, possibly, right? So that's, this is on, we're looking at CIA.gov, okay? If you put CIA Bloodlines, you'll find the PDF, just like that. Boom.
And we're here reading it to you.
Yeah, and we're here reading it to you because the first season, if you didn't have Prumble Premium. So Prumble is a mix for Rumble Premium. So Rumble Premium, if you want to go, we did that book that Shady's holding up right there. That book that Shady's holding up right there is called Pandora's Box, The Ultimate Unseen Hand of the New World Order, I believe. Right, Shady? Did I get it right? Yeah. And we read that whole book, okay? Where the CIA site only has 92 pages. The Bloodlines of the Illuminati book actually has a lot more than that, okay? It also has pictures and graphics and all that other stuff, and we got to figure all that out too, but it's over 600 pages, okay? And it's all indexed too. Oh, like if you want to look up Russell, you can look up Russell Bloodlines, you can find that. You can find, Bill Clinton, you can find Clinton in here. You can find, it's a really nice indexed version that I have, and was yours indexed too, Shady?
Yes, sir. Yeah.
Mine is also signed by Fritz Springmeier.
Nice.
Which is pretty
cool. Who
else? I'll eat you.
I can't let you get past that.
I know. And it was funny. Joe Bag of Donuts, who's in our Telegram, and sometimes he's here, he went with me to the San Antonio one, I think. San Antonio. And Alex Jones met me, and he looked scared shitless when he met me, Shady.
Well, look at him.
I'll eat your ass. I will. All right. Let me see if Jeff or Shady see my rant this time. Oh my God. You rant a lot.
Who was it?
Effectual. Try to tell me and my family your blood gives you the right to lord over us and see what happens to you. In America, we hate kings and titles of nobility. Keck, Jeff just got queued at least, 25 times? Jeff and Shady, OGQ. Thank you so much.
I did read your earlier comment, Inspectual.
That was the one he wanted me to read.
No, I know, but I'm saying I read his one from earlier, too.
Yep, and I read one from earlier, too. Ben, thank you very much. If you do, we'll try to read every one, bro. And if you have to remind me, just remind me. That's okay.
Yeah, we can take it.
And Track Doc, Beth Kelly, if you guys want to sponsor our show, go ahead. Otherwise, stop spending money on bots, Track Doc, and go ahead and fund this show. Okay? All right. Shady, let's just get to it.
Why are you all hostile?
I just don't like people dropping crap in my show.
It's okay.
If they want to push their whatever they're pushing, fund the show, Shady.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
All right. So I think you need to read Mick George.
All right.
All right. And we're going to start it off right now. This is a preview. This is free premium today, guys, so we can show you kind of what we're doing. And a lot of people learn in different ways. Some people learn by just reading. Some people learn by audiobooks. That's kind of what we're doing here. And, you know, we're hands-on, right? So this is hands-on audio while reading. This is all three types of learning right here on the MG Show while reading the Bloodlines of the Illuminati by Fritz Springmeier, Shady.
Plus, we add our amazing commentary.
Yeah. Oh, Candle, $5. It says, don't be reading this, damn it.
Apologize for that.
You just did it.
Apologize for that.
We're going to have to take that out in the edit.
Edit it out.
Edit it. Edit
Who
it.
else is going to go see Melania tonight in the movie theaters? Press 47, guys, if you guys are going to see it.
I'm going to go Sunday.
Shady, let's go ahead and do McGeorge.
Okay, well, let's talk about McGeorge Bundy. And McGeorge Bundy is going to lead into another Bundy or two, and then we're going to be moving into the next family after
the Collins family.
The first one that we went into was Astor. And by the way, Jeff read you the Q drop specifically mentioning who was invited onto the Titanic. Well, Astor was one of the people that was invited so that he could, quote unquote, go down with the ship.
And we also showed you somebody that was actually saved, and it was a Podesta.
It was.
Interesting.
Anthony C. Sutton does an excellent job in his book on the Skull and Bones Order in describing how McGeorge Bundy received preferential treatment all through his life. I'd like to mention real quick how that none of the people that you see screaming at you that it's the Jews will ever mention Skull and Bones or a fraternal secret Jesuit order. They will never mention that. You could go to their timelines and you will never see it talked about. But they can scream and yell and tell you how a religion is lording over you. Consistently, McGeorge Bundy got jobs for which there were thousands of better candidates. McGeorge Bundy went to Yale, where he was initiated into Skull and Bones in 1940. Yes, that's right. It is not a modern thing. McGeorge then went to Harvard. After this, McGeorge joined the Army as a private. Very few privates ever achieved the rate of promotion that McGeorge received. Now, we have someone else that we've discussed that received extraordinarily unusual promotions within ranks of the military without really doing anything. You know, you fail upwards. The dumber you are, the higher you go. Within a year after joining as a private, McGeorge was promoted to captain. Not only was he made a captain, but he was also placed on staff to plan the logistics and other details of the invasion of Sicily and the Normandy invasion. This is honestly fantastic. How could a greenhorn without experience have the experience to know how much supplies, etc., are needed for a certain operation? Interesting. Bear in mind that these calculations are for battles in which the wrong combination of supplies could mean death or defeat for a unit. Do we or do we not understand that both sides of World War II were controlled? As Sutton points out on page 51, can a 23-year-old with no military experience undertake planning for amphibious operations? The answer is obviously no, even if his
father... What strikes me here real quick, Shady?
Yep.
General Flynn drew the battle plan for Haiti, Shady.
Yep. That's exactly right. And General Flynn was who I was referencing earlier, who excelled quickly up through the ranks and not really being qualified.
Yeah.
Isn't that interesting? Another dovetail from what we're live here in the book. Yes, we are live. And we're getting free Rumble Premium today. The answer is obviously no, even if his father, the Order, is in the Pentagon as an aide to the Secretary of War. The Order, after the war, McGeorge continues his phenomenal climb from job to bigger job, often with no credentials. In 1945, he becomes assistant to the Secretary of War and co-authors a book with Stimson. Then, McGeorge, without any experience or credentials in economics, becomes a consultant to the Economic Cooperation Administration. You see this with these people all the time. Then he becomes foreign policy analyst for the presidential candidate Thomas Dewey. Christians may recognize from the instruction that the Bible gives that pride warps our ability to accurately see. How much pride has been instilled in men like McGeorge that they feel comfortable to hop from one unqualified position to another and to make weighty decisions. 1949, Bundy was invited to Harvard University to teach as an assistant professor, and in 4 years is made the dean of the Faculty of Arts and Science at Harvard. How does anyone become dean of a prestigious university department after 4 years of teaching? Not only has McGeorge been treated as if he's an instant military genius, an economic whiz, now he's the head of the arts and sciences. Bundy becomes the national security advisor. Oh! Son of God.
McFlynn.
1961 to 1966, he is the special assistant for national security affairs to the president. Then gives him great control over what the presidents are told. For instance, on page 177 and 178, Sutton quotes a conversation between McGeorge Bundy and Dean Acheson. Scroll and key, another Illuminati initiation point. Scroll and key is like a skull and bones order, and I'm pretty sure scroll and key is on Yale as well. It might be Harvard. I can't remember. And President Kennedy recorded in a memorandum. President Kennedy is led to believe that the United States has deserted its ally of Portugal to aid nationalists in Angola, when in fact the U.S. was supporting Marxist guerrillas. That's communist guerrillas. Now, I want to just point out right here, this is what the Sing Laub network was doing. America's Future. This is what they really did. They pretended that they fought communists, and then they would go in and they would train these guerrillas, and then they would bring it back to say, oh, we need funding because we got these people that are set up to fight the guerrillas. No, they're training the guerrillas to maraud on the country of which they're operating. And it's being funded through off-book channels like America's Future. And it's just so interesting how this is dovetailing with that. In 1966, McGeorge was appointed president of the Ford Foundation, another Illuminati foundation that is promoting their agenda. Matter of fact, the Ford Foundation is involved with the Arabella stuff that we're looking at today. And the funding of what you see happening in Minnesota today. Same operators, different era. McGeorge brought in Harold Howie II to the vice president, a position that Howie was unqualified for, except that Howie was a skull and bones brother and was a team player that would help promote the New World Order agenda with its Hegelian philosophy and socialism. Both
Howie. You're so funny, bro. I love you.
When I say Howie.
Because it's how. But you said how and then you said Howie, but you said it both ways, so you're good.
Howie, whatever.
Howie.
It's Howie. I don't know. Is it French?
All right, we got Hari W. Bundy.
Both of the funds of the foundation board resigned and discussed at the way these skull and bones were using the Ford Foundation.
All right, sorry about that. I thought you were already done with McGeorge.
You were correcting me.
My bad. Sorry about that.
Now I get to correct you.
You can. Harry Bundy was a Mason, a Satanist, and a Chief Adept 9 degree of the Colorado part of the SRICF. To clarify to the reader, this all means allow me to inform you about the structures Satan has built. Pure Satanism, in order to function easier, has set up some branches which are secret. But if the public hears about these branches, they have a veneer of respectability. Dr. Wynne Westcott, a famous Satanist and Supreme Magnus of SRIA, wrote a rare book, History of the Societas Rosicruciana in Anglia. 9. Shady, did I do it?
You're fine.
All right. It was privately printed by these Masonic Rosicrucians on December 30th, 1900, and later received by the BR Museum Press mark of 0475H54. Within this rare book, the leader of the SRIA spells out the purpose of the organization to the Brotherhood. Quote, the aim to this society, searching out secrets of nature to facilitate the study of the system of philosophy founded on the Kabbalah and the doctrines of Hermes
Trismegistus.
Yes. Hermes Trismegistus, as many of you know, means the thrice great Hermes, who was an Egyptian scribe god who, in lowercase g, who is claimed to be the author of all magical writings. Hermes is created for the glossy, evil, satanic witchcraft rituals that the ancient Egyptians and modern Satanism continue to practice. For an excellent expose on connections between Egyptian Book of the Dead, Masonic rituals, and modern Satanism, I suggest David Carrico's book, The Masonic Egyptian Satanic Connection, obtainable from followers of Jesus Christ, Evansville, Indiana. As I was just writing, a number of branches of the Illuminati were created in the same pattern as the Bavarian Illuminati. And these branches sometimes refer to themselves as Illuminati, and rightly so, since they are an integral part of Satanism. One branch has been set up within Freemasonry, called Societas Rosicruciana. They call themselves Rosicruciana, and Christians, how they attach the name of Christ to Satanism is beyond my imagination. Perhaps perhaps the quote Christ consciousness they seek justifies in their mind calling themselves exclusively Christian. Whatever they want to call themselves, they practice magic and Satanism. A number of daughter organizations have sprung up from the SRIA, such as the Golden Dawn, the Stella Matutina, and the Ordo Templi Orientis, the OTO. The SRIA also worked closely with German Illuminatism and the Theosophical Society. In England, the Societas Rosicruciana, boy, I'm glad I got this one, Shady, is named SR in Anglia. In Scotland, it is SR. In Scotia, it is in Greece, it is SR. In Gracia, in Canada, it is SR. In Canada, and in the U.S., it is SR. Wow, that's a weird sentence, huh?
Well, that is a weird sentence.
Yeah. In Civitiatibus Foerdiratis, oh, God, the membership is very exclusive. And my understanding is that there are a dozen U.S. lodges called colleges with about 40 members each, which lends me to guess that they have exclusive membership of about 500 in the United States. Membership in Societas Rosicruciana has included such notable Satanists such as A.L. Waite, Eliphas Levi, oh, wow, Shady, and Kenneth McKenzie. You think this could be the Levi guy, Shady Groove?
Yeah, I think that is
Levi's
societas, like
okay.
social, like social, so societas.
Yep.
Yeah.
What you said.
I have no idea if the Eliphas Levi is the Levi, but I can check.
Yeah. It has included that Luciferian Albert Pike, too, with a notion that the arena is divided up into provinces. Each one has a college, their fancy word for Satanic Lodge. On April 20th, 1948, Harry W. Bundy became the chief adept of the Colorado College. 2 letters by the Supreme Magnus of all of the SR groups within. Groups win. Oh my God. Win Westcott are photocopied so that the reader can read themselves in the SRIA's Supreme Magnus lending magician that they are connected to the Illuminati. See for yourself. An interesting point in light of what I have printed in other newsletters. The Mass College in 1393 printed a book by its Supreme Magnus Gould, 9 Degree, which declares that the grand central san of the universe is Alcyone in the Pleiades. Shades of Alice Daly and C.T. Russell, one of the most knowledgeable people that try to expose the New World Order and the satanic hierarchy behind it. Quote, it remains for the student to follow every line of inquiry to the point of concentration where the nil threads are gathered and systematically manipulated for the eventual destruction of the Christian civilization. But it's the Jews, Shady.
Mm-hmm.
It may lend to the Benai birth, the Universal Israelite Alliance, India, or Tibet, but in any case, a thorough and complete study of Rosicrucianism, embracing a minute of one Rosicruciana in Anglia and its various branches will be a great step taken in the direction of uncovering much of the political moral chaos of the present-day history of mankind. Page 510. P83, all praise and glory to God in Jesus Christ's name. Amen. That's a $100 Rumble rant, Shady. Thank you.
Thank you.
And thank you for that. Amen. Interesting that this expert would say that the threads go back to the top to 13 top families, and wouldn't you know, several of their lenders of the SRIA, including Harry W. Bundy, the Bundy family, has been a very powerful family in the American history, which has managed to keep itself out of the limelight. Often, the members of the Bundys have had power by virtue of being advisors to those in powerful positions. Congressman Reese, a real hero, tried to go farther and expose connections between Hess, though Carnegie Endowment Foundation, the Morgan Bank, and the rest of the tax-exempt foundations. The Illuminati moved mightily against Reese. And this is the simplified biography. You can just check that screenshot if you guys want to go look at that. And then that, Shady, brings us to the Collins bloodline.
Wow, that was a very difficult read right there.
That was, dude.
Good
like,
job.
what the
I'm so glad I did not get that one. This is like Russian roulette with like paragraphs here. Like, who's going to get the most like tongue twisted one?
So far, I got it.
Yeah, you're winning.
What was that sentence? I mean, that sentence.
Golly, it was about. I know it was like it was repetitive, like 3 times.
SR. What the heck? Anyways, all right. So we'll continue on. Shady, why don't you kick off the Collins bloodline? Let's. Interesting to note that we do have a Collins in the Senate. Shady Groove.
We do. We do have a Collins in the Senate, and she's very cantankerous.
She is. I mean, she might even be a witch. And it was very interesting, Shady, that we did a dig on her. And on her own website, they have a land from the 1700s. Okay, and they do they do timber. Very interesting.
Yeah, and what you're going to find out is that the mainstream story about, like, burning of witches and all those things, it just happens to be that the people that they were burning as witches were their competition's family.
Imagine that.
Yeah. None of the bloodline witches were really burning the witches. You know what I'm saying?
Burn to the witches.
The Collins bloodline.
Oh, yeah, and the one at CNN, too, Shady. The Collins lady.
And also the guy that is Anthony Fauci's right-hand man.
Collins.
Yes, sir.
That's right. The what was that?
Guy with the guitar and the folk singing.
Oh, my God.
That's a Collins.
He was the head of the...
NIH, right?
NIH, that's it. Yeah. Jeez. It's all out there. Symbolism and knowing who their family bloodlines are might tell you how you know stuff, Shady Groove.
Yeah, get your shot.
Yeah.
That's what they kept saying. All right, here we go. I think we're going to open some more can of worms here, guys. Let's go. The next family in our series of articles on the top 13 bloodline Illuminati families is the Collins family. The first two have been the Astor family and the Bundy family. The first two articles were fairly straightforward. Both the Astor and Bundy families have been written about by others, and I had more information on both families than I needed for my articles. In fact, I left out worthwhile details in both articles in order to keep the articles to a comfortable length. In the Collins article, there will be some padding. In terms of research in the Collins family front, from a scale of 0 to 100, I'm about at 10. There are some hard connections that will be presented and some soft connections. Joan Collins is what I'd call a soft connection. She has associated with a long list of key Illuminati men and at least a few known Satanists, but this is only the barest of dues that she might have anything to do with the Illuminati herself. Let me give you some of the hard connections first. The following is a description of a highly secret, high-level satanic meeting. It comes via an ex-insider who is now a Christian. If any other ex-hierarchy person is reading this, perhaps this will trigger some memories for you. The experience dates to 1955. This is a meeting that is held twice yearly and to which the Rothschilds and all the mother families attend. The meeting is inside of a big room, and the grandmother on the throne was a Collins. The Collins family has been kept out of the limelight because they have more occult power than the Rothschilds or the Rockefellers. To make money, the Collins family does something financially, such as deal with the exchange of money. I've noticed that numerous Collins have been insurance executives. And although I haven't exposed the connections between insurance companies and the MWO, there is a book out which shows how they must or how that most insurance companies are connected and under the guidance of the NWO elite. The grandmother Collins, dressed in black, has an ebony and gold moon-shaped throne that she can automatically rotate by pushing a pedal with her foot. Behind her sits the Grand Council with 13 members. This might be or might not be the Grand Druid Council. Probably is. That you will read about further on. The difference between the council in 1955 is that it was all male, while the council in 1978 has several women on it. The grandmother, a Collins woman, was thought to be in her middle 50s at the time of this meeting, and she had a deep dictatorial voice, was small in stature, and was very powerful. She was decked out on her throne with a great deal of jewelry. One of the first things done was to lay before her feet small gold bricks, shaped like small bricks and made of pure gold. 2 boys who were taken to be her sons, one of whom was Tom Collins. Tom was later gunned down by the Illuminati. They were near her throne. As only the most honored and powerful dared be in the vicinity of her throne, this showed that these 2 Collins boys were powerful. The boys passed out papers, which had tables written on them of things that were to happen. A great discussion was carried on about what had happened in the world to bring in Satan's one world government during the last 6 months and what was prepared to happen in the near future. Things that had not gone according to plan were discussed. The Ark of the Covenant was discussed, where it was hidden in Africa, and the ritual mocking Ark of the Covenant was held. 7 children in white were brought in from the generational satanic family and presented before the grandmother Collins. They laid prostrate in worship of her. She would move her scepter with a snake up and down, striking the floor to show approval of a child candidate. And 7 other children were sacrificed for the 7 approved children, 1 for each child, whose name would then be written with a quill using the sacrificed child's blood. Children were given oaths. The grandmother rotated her throne and faced the Council of 13 and declared, speaking in English, "This is tomorrow's generation, a chosen few." The John the Baptist of the Antichrist put in an appearance, but the Antichrist at that time was not born or only a tiny baby. Was this Benjamin Cream?
I would just say cream. Yeah.
Cream. Okay. The ex-insider didn't learn the name of this John the Baptist, forerunner of the Antichrist. However, the descriptions of this occult John the Baptist do match Benjamin Cream. Benjamin Cream was born in 1924 and was deeply into the occult and witchcraft even when he was just a boy. See the newsletter of Terra Center Emergence, January 82. He claims that in 1959, he telepathically received a message from his master, a member of the demonic hierarchy. Cream calls these master spirits simply the hierarchy. Christians know it as the demonic hierarchy because all these things are planned out well in advance. It would have been very appropriate if Cream had been at a high-level planning meeting in 1955. And for more understanding on Cream's Christ, the reader is directed to read the article on the Sufis in this newsletter. Referring back to the gold bricks that laid before the grandmother's throne, there are several reasons that the real gold is important to the Illuminati, and perhaps in some other article, this newsletter will go into it all. There have been massive secret gold shipments out of the U.S. and Russia, and guess who's getting it? In my 1193 newsletter that names many of the top Illuminati are given, one that could have been included is Robert Moore Collins, 1867 to ? Who was a member of the Pilgrims, 60 of the modern equivalent of the Bavarian Illuminati. Robert M. Collins was a reporter for several important newspapers and worked as an editor in the Washington and New York offices of the AP. He did chiefly political work for the Associated Press. He was the chief newsroom for Reuters, Illuminati-controlled press, and the Associated Press for many stories coming out of the Orient. Although he was born in Washington, D.C., his address as an adult became Bournemouth, England. He never married, As those who investigate the Illuminati find out, the Illuminati control the press. Nah. Here was a man who helped do it for them. Last newsletter issue 115, 1993, went into some detail about how important the satanic Societas Rosicruciana is in relation to the satanic groups such as the OTO, the Golden Dawn, and the Stella Matutina.
You better have gotten that one right. I tell you.
There's and remember Golden Dawn. Remember Golden Dawn is Crowley, and I think OTO was what's his name? Aquino was a part of OTO later on. The Societas Rosicruciana is definitely a high-level exclusive Illuminati organization. One of the New York SR officers was James F. Collins, 8 degree, who died April 2nd, 1896. And he was the original set of SR officers of the first High Council of the SR in America, which had oversight over all SR colleges. Notice how a college and a lodge are the same thing. You got to point these stuff out because people skip right over it. Your college, your fraternities. What are all those things? Are those of Roman descent? Where does this come from? Where does our higher education come from, guys? Understand it, and you will see. In America, his position was a presenter. I don't know what that officer does. And when the Canadians set up a Societas Rosicruciana in Canada, the High Council, which had oversight over all Canada, included a Collins on its council. Daniel Collins, 8 degree. Daniel Collins had several positions on the council. The highest degree is the 9 degree. And if you've read the January...
Real quick, I hate to interrupt, but do you remember when Canada Parliament honored a Satanist?
I do.
Okay.
Not long ago.
Not long ago.
And they also honored one of the Nazis.
Fun.
Remember that? They had the Nazi guy up there. They didn't realize he was an actual Nazi, and they honored him.
Yep. Also, Jack Parsons was OTO, the JPL scientist.
That is correct. Yep.
Thanks, Aeon, man.
And connected with the Scientology.
Imagine that.
Whatever that. Why can't I think of the guy's name right now? Whatever. You guys know. This is a high-level Illuminati council in the Be Wise as Serpents. In the second section of the chapter entitled "The Heresy Interlocks with Power," on the 8th page, I gave the names of people who were on the secret Grand Druid Council in the spring of 1878. 1978. I skipped it. Each of these people are powerful witches and have a great deal of power in the world. Yvonne Collins was on the Grand Druid Council. She was a traditionalist. To be a traditionalist means that she holds the view that only those people who are born to families with satanic power and witches in their family background can be true witches. Obviously, the Collins family has a long history of witchcraft, and if she holds this view. Remember that the leading Satanists feel that they have special blood. The top ones feel that they are gods. Even grand masters may teach their selected children that they are the God which created the children. This last statement makes more sense when one learns the methods, state of mind, and beliefs of the satanic hierarchy. Yvonne Collins would reject the idea that just anyone can become a witch of any significance by training and practice. The occult demonic power would not be strong enough for a convert to witchcraft. Yvonne's occult name is Legina, which means Lucifer's bride. Legina, Yvonne Collins, who lived La Virginia, got upset with Jerry Falwell. He didn't follow orders well. She got the Security and Exchange Commission to investigate his church, which caused the church economic hardship. Even mainline Christian ministers are expected to follow directives of the Grand Druid Council. That's a very important statement, which is said to operate under the order of the Rothschilds. Everyone who was high up in the Illuminati and are now Christians remember Tom Collins. Collins was in the Illuminati, but for some reason, the Lord changed his heart and he began to talk to churches about what is really going on. And he had an itinerary of churches to speak to, of which a Baptist church was one. He warned what was going on. He was gunned down in a grocery store parking lot and has been used as an example by the Illuminati to anybody else that dares utter a word. Remember Tom Collins. They warn people in coven.
There's also a drink called the Tom Collins, interestingly enough.
There's a reason for that.
Yes, sir.
You're seeing it.
This reminds me of another incident which happened to a brother in Olympia, Washington, the capital of Washington. 2 weeks after Reagan, was elected, a beautiful Mercedes pulled up to where this Christian brother was working. The guy who got out was obviously rich. His suit had to be in the neighborhood of $800, and his wife had fox furs around her neck. They said their son was going for work for the state, and they wanted to look for a home for him. The woman was being independent and said, I don't want to go see the houses. I want to talk to this nice man. The houses were done by Donahue Construction. The men went on to look at the houses, and the woman remained behind and talked. This Christian is an easy talker with people. He struck up a conversation naturally. He said, quote, I think it's great Ronald Reagan got elected. He's going to be a good president. The woman replied, quote, we wanted George Bush to get it. Who's we? The Christian asked to this rich lady who kept tossing her furs back and forth. The Illuminati, she said. We're the enlightened ones, and George Bush was trained by us. Unfortunately, the men had just returned at this point and were entering the room. The man with the expensive suit was livid. Shut your beeping mouth, he yelled. She huffed back. Well, if you insist. He then turned to the Christian, who he didn't know, and politely told him that he had failed to find anything that suited him. Thank you very much for everything is secure, and handed him the keys. Then he dragged the woman to the Mercedes, giving her hell all the way for talking, and when they got in, proceeded to physically slap her around. This was an extremely rare incident. Many of the satanic hierarchy live in their entire lives without uttering a word to anyone about anything hidden on the satanic side of their lives. As a rule, they find a very respectable cover lives in society. The more respectable, the better, to cover their hidden lives. The satanic rituals are always memorized. You will not walk into these people's houses and find incriminating books or objects. Remember Ted Bundy in the last issue's article? Ted was actually the model of now many. Jesus.
I think it's how. Model of how many.
No, it's now.
Oh. Many of how many top?
Now many top Illuminati are. I don't know. Ted was exactly the model of how, many top Illuminati are. Yes. It's tough sometimes, Shady, isn't it? Bow, bow,
That's
bow.
why I'm here.
Bow, bow, bow. Here, but habita.
Howie.
Howie Mandel. They are capable of the most horrendous things, but everyone who knows them, they are the most likable, intelligent, normal people. People who knew Ted Bundy had no idea what he was doing in secret. The satanic hierarchy and their Satanism is clearly the most secret religion in the world. They are a priesthood that rules the world through political leaders that they place in power. Oh, isn't QAnon about all the satanic rules? Okay. And because of their power, they have ability to suppress a great deal of publicity that could arise from their numerous activities. To describe the security methods employed to keep high-level Satanism secret could take an entire book. Let's just put it this way. If you were a billionaire, which several of the leading Olympians, King Illuminati, are, what kind of security could you afford? And what kind of clout would you have with national governments and police forces to even get governments to provide security for you? Remember, these people own the press and the media. They will unalive you, discredit anyone who exposes them. Don't be surprised if both of these happen to me, the author, Fritz Springmeier. Just know this, they can unalive the body and they cannot unalive the soul. Our Christian God reigns. They also control the CIA and FBI. See Be Wise as Serpent for more details on this. Many leading FBI agents have not only been Masons, but they have been Satanists. You know, that goes, look at James Comey's book, Shady Groove.
Yep. A higher loyalty, sir.
That's right. James Comey's book, Higher Loyalty. What does a Comey mean? French, dukes, duques, and comes. They go and to other lands and steal it for the kings. That's what a Comey actually means, guys.
Yeah, and the Flint and McChrystal referred to themselves as the dukes.
The duques.
Yeah, and they called McChrystal Pope.
Mm-hmm.
Just absolute coincidence.
I'm sure it's all just coincidence. Stop it, Shady.
Yep.
The FBI sends out reports which, paraphrased, go like this. For more crime has been committed by zealots in the name of God than has ever been committed in the name of Satan. The actual involvement of the occult in a criminal case usually turns out to be secondary, insignificant, or non-existent. The law enforcement perspective on the occult crimes require avoiding the paranoia that has crept into this issue. Now remember, Shady, a nihilistic group called 764 is now being dismantled by FBI Director Kash Patel.
That's right. And a number of the other organizations, including today, we had the announcement of this Latin Kings thing. All of these gangs are being dismantled from the ground up. The people that Hillary Clinton said that they were bringing to heel are getting arrested.
Don't be trying to get crazy with me, Shady.
I'm just
Don't
trying
you
to
know
tell you
I'm
what's
local?
going on. You can listen or you can move on.
I can't even do my impression.
I know. You're all messed up.
No, you messed it up. Come on now.
Come on.
You did on purpose.
I know.
I'm going on strike.
Okay. I'm going with you.
All right, let's all go on strike, guys.
Let's do it.
Oh, that was me just now. All right, unless hard evidence is obtained and corroborated, the police officers should avoid being frightened into believing the Satanists are performing criminal ceremonies requiring investigation. An unjustified crusade against such activity could result in wasted resources, unwanted damage to reputations, and disruption of civil liberties. This type of thing is hilarious to hear from the FBI. For those who know how they have trampled on every civil liberty by investigating tens of thousands of organizations simply because they oppose the establishment and ruin reputations of many people. Martin Luther King, for instance. People who have read my book may have picked up that J. Edgar Hoover was a 32-degree Mason, homosexual, and worked intimately with the Illuminati. For those who haven't come out of Satanism, one way to explain people of how Satanic secretly functions is to compare these satanic families with the mafia families. Individuals in these families learn what they need to know. No more.
And who has told you that over and over again? The people that are screaming at you that it's the Jews are working for the real who it is.
Mm-hmm. The CIA bosses have cover jobs to give their orders orally. Actually, the comparison between Mafia and Cosa Nostra families and Moria or Illuminati families is quite fitting because they tie in organizationally and were created by the same occult stream of secret societies that Satan has been running. Don't expect to find what you're reading here about the Collins family, that they are one of the very top Illuminati families, even more powerful than the Rothschilds, anywhere else. People are getting the inside story for the first time. I'm grateful for the various insiders giving me accounts of secret meetings. There are numerous clues, but they are rejected by most people who refuse to accept the satanic hierarchy even exists. Before the 1960s and the space programs, men had not seen the far side of the moon, but that didn't mean it wasn't there. The hierarchy are professionals at Satanism and really pros at obtaining satanic power through ritual, deeds, and worldly power. Their activities are very secret. In contrast, there is a great deal of physical evidence from the coven levels, the lowest level, that periodically surfaces robes, candies made of fat, athames, altars, dead animals, ritual sites, etc. Like Epstein Island. Pretty interesting. The higher levels believe that the force must be balanced. One's good deeds match one's evil deeds. That's why they have philanthropic societies, right? I mean,
yes, they feel like the philanthropy, because they do the philanthropy, it justifies all the horrible things that they've done before.
Get your Shriners hospital blanket. Shriners Hospital. Yeah. Consequently, some of the greatest philanthropists are leading Satanists. The lower levels are not concerned with developing power such as what Satan has. They simply enjoy being evil. And in that respect, are rather crude in their exercise of evil. The Collins family hasn't received much attention. Who do you think of when you think of the Collins? Joan Collins? She was a beautiful Jewish Hollywood actress from England. Joan's grandmother lived in Brighton, England. Joan mentions her father being a Jew on page 13 of her autobiography, Joan Collins, Past Imperfect. Her father, Joe Collins, and his friend, Lord Lou Grade, Howie, I don't know. Right? Had an acting company. Joe Collins' father, Will Collins, and his wife had a can-can dancer, Henrietta Collins, who were into acting. In the 1970s, she was in several horror movies and picked up the title of Queen of the Horror Films, page 271. In 1977 and 1978, Joan was a nude in 2 sexy films, not in her first, which were expected to do better at the box office than they did. Neither of those titles of these films bear repeating. Shady.
One was based on the sexy book Joan's sister wrote that was a bestseller in England. Joan was the first old woman to be in the buff in Playboy, December of 83. The issue is a collector's item. In her 40s, she was still posing in the buff, which according to her autobiography, she feels comfortable doing. I wonder if being exceptionally beautiful and a sex idol for millions makes it easier to pose nude. For those who watched Dynasty, you likely remember her. For those who watched Hansel and Gretel, Joan was the witch. She was the woman in the film The Devil Within Her. In December of 82, Joan was asked to be the mistress of ceremonies at Prince Albert Hall before the Queen and His Royal Highness Prince Phillips. Besides knowing, excuse me, that she is into astrology, after looking at her autobiography, I don't pick up a hint of any religiousness. Besides her amazing beauty, her lack of morals made her a perfect fit for Hollywood. And among her friends, she had Sammy Davis Jr., James Manfield as friends or acquaintances, and both of whom are publicly known to be Satanists. She rubbed shoulders with Henry Kissinger. Joan Collins vacationed in the winter at St. Moritz, which is an exclusive ski resort of the international set where Joan rubbed shoulders with Niarchus and Aristotle Onassis. These are kings within the Illuminati. Joan Collins spent her time with Edgar Bronfman. You guys know the Bronfmans. The Bronfman family are the Jewish Illuminati family that runs Canada. Joan Collins may not be part of the Illuminati Collins family, but if she isn't, she has at least associated with some of the top Illuminati. Joan was married several times, but obviously preferred her maiden name. And another famous Collins is Michael Collins, who was one of the 3 astronauts on the Apollo 2. Apollo 11 was the first officially announced visit by man to the moon. For those who have read Be Wise to Serpents, you are aware that the first flag on the moon was the Scottish Rites flag. There are a number of very strange things about the flight and about what NASA has been doing. Buzz, I think that's supposed to be Buzz Aldrin, is a Freemason. Neil Armstrong has gone into seclusion, shunning any publicity, as Michael Collins puts it. Neil has dropped out and doesn't sell the NASA program. Carrying the Fire by Michael Collins, page 461. That's the reference. What our government has been doing with NASA, flying saucers, and a manned lunar base is beyond writing about in this article. But the question did naturally come to mind, could Michael Collins be related to the Illuminati Collins family? Michael Collins writes about himself, fortunately, quote, "Fortunately, I have been a poor student all my life, and my parents, concealing their disappointment, seldom pushed me. It certainly seems like such a student would need some pull to get into West Point. USMA Michael Collins also sits on the board of directors of the Illuminati's Rand Corps, which works with the Tavistock Institute. He is not even a nominal Christian. As far as I can tell, he states dryly that no, he did not find God. When he went to the moon, it looked like the clues were leading in the direction that he might be part of the elite. When I ran across one sentence that changed my mind."
All right, let's leave it there, Shady Groove. I think we are at 2:00.
Wow.
It's Friday, guys. Want to give a shout out to everybody that helped this show today. Thank you so much. If we didn't shout you out, my apologies. We try to get everybody, okay? But Shady Groove, really good stuff. Page 31, if you can write that down for next Friday. You got it?
Yeah, and we'll backtrack a little bit on that for you guys. So
yeah.
Each week,
interesting stuff.
Each week we're going to backtrack just a little bit so we kind of catch up. So we're not going to be able to get through whole segments of this book. It's very vast, as a matter of fact, and the things that we're just really kind of getting the can opener going here has started so that we can dig into like the massive contingent of infiltration that's around you, I think that people are starting to get an idea, like how can we go through 10 years of Donald Trump explaining to everybody exactly what it is we're doing, and you can understand what he's doing, but the media still can't understand what he's doing. They still take him like literally everything he says. They still conflate what he's saying. And now we have this whole crew of absolute disgusting idiots on our side that have finally shown their faces. So God bless all of you, and God bless our endeavor here to expose them day by day, because I feel like we're doing a pretty good job.
That's right. And if you do like what you saw today and you want to continue, please join Rumble Premium. Okay. Yeti, say goodbye to YouTube. Can we just turn off YouTube? Because we'll get a copyright strike for playing this, but I think we need to play this every single time. It's the armor of God, guys. Okay. Put it on. When you read this stuff, just put on the armor of God. You got to armor up. Yeti, are we off YouTube? Let me know when we're off. Give me 1 second. Okay, you got it. Other than that, guys, thank you so much for joining us. Shady, great job. Great week. We did it. This is our 20th show this year, guys.
Already?
Yeah.
That's like 9% of the year already. Wow. How did we do that?
I don't know.
You do it with a good attitude. I appreciate that.
Yeah. Cat mother, cat